before we start, I want to say something here. I personally don't recommend this first screen because it doesn't say anything. In mine, I put myself as host. I put some logos. You can put some client testimonials. You want to grab credibility, because when I see this, oh, she will talk about the networking web, or she will talk about her company. So if you don't want to have logos, if you don't like to see a scene on or whatever credibility you can build, you can put your books, you can put your websites, small icons of your website. Just think about something when people say, wow, I would like to listen. That's why you like to put your photo too.
Can we put the pain point? Such as if they came because of a message on a Facebook ad, can we put that message here?
Try it, but all what I've been seeing is people will having a credibility screen.
Because this is a webinar, not from stage.
But you have a time, right? Where they're looking at that screen.
Will they come in early?
Yeah.
So you put your host, coming soon, and you put something about you as a host.
And do you recommend music in that early stage?
Yeah, usually you have a music.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
because then they know that there's something coming,
Yeah.
and then that this is coming.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a countdown clock
What
to put
about
on
even
that.
just putting webinars will start soon?
Yeah, webinar will start.
No,
Well, so
webinar
you can say start at a specific time.
Webinar
too.
will start soon, and the counting is right. But what we are looking for is the next level up. The next level up is I want to do this as credibility. Screen. So it can have testimonials.
Right.
It can have you as seen as. Like you saw mine.
I can put
Off
client
there.
logos if they're okay with that.
Why?
I can put client logos.
You
out
can
there.
put client logos. You can.
It's like it's
and
gonna be
you can
weird.
you can make it like you can make it a small flip 2-3 slides which they automatically go. But
Eventually, it'll be a little video,
Or-
but for now, it's gonna have to just be
go ahead.
something.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone.
So now we introduce Catherine. Welcome.
Well, there's no introduction if it's a webinar, correct?
Not
Automate
necessary.
that.
There are people can do the introduction.
Automate that.
Okay. Get an audio introduction.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can record using.
All right. So, did you know in current internet culture that less than 1% of the entire world currently using the internet are creators? In other words, creating content for everyone else to consume. And of the remaining 99%, only 9% are those who will actually interact with that information and engage that information, like, comment, recreate little bits and pieces of their own, and let you know that they're even looking at it. That leaves 90% of your audience lurking in the background. Now, a lot of people think lurking is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. They're still there, but you don't know if they're consuming your content or not. So it's good to know that there could be 90% looking at your content, but they're never going to let you know. So how do we engage the lurkers? How do we turn those engagers to help you recreate? And then how do we get other creators to want to collaborate with you? Now, normally they'll see 1, then 2, then 3. So the first one, you know what? This is specifically for authors. Authors struggle the most. Authors are creators, but they're creators of material that they know very well. But how do we get them? How do we get you, a social media content to help direct people to your books, to your products, sales and services? The first of the 3 most common complaints or challenges that authors deal with is that they have no followers or very few followers, and therefore no social media responses to the content that they are putting out. This is incredibly frustrating. And there are some ways that you can get, and I just forgot what I was going to say. I just wrote it down too. There are things that you can do that can drag people in, bring people to your content. There are things that you can do that will tweak that 9% to engage with you instead of leaving as a lurker. So it's a matter of finding out what to do that. I had a client, or sorry, that's wrong. One of the first things I do with clients is sit down and figure out who their audience is. I have one client who thought that her audience were fiction writers, and she wrote all this fabulous content for fiction writers. Unfortunately, fiction writers are not her client. That's not her natural fit. Once she moved and discovered that she went from fiction to business writers, and then moved even further still from business to health services business writers, suddenly 300% increase in one single week. And that's when she just started. The second is most people online have no influence and no media attention. In order to gain influence, you have to give influence. You have to go after influencers. And I don't mean go after in a bad way. I just mean you need to go introduce yourself to the people like you who already have influence. And there are ways to do that. There are ways to get media attention. There are ways to attract that media attention. There are ways to leave nuggets behind. So even though you may not be in the spotlight today, you can leave these things behind for others to find you. Don't have a chosen story for that section. Not yet. The third one is book sales. Now this is the most difficult one for writers. The whole point, your book sales, products, services, whatever it is that you happen to be selling, that is the most important part here, because if you cannot create a line of income, you have to change what you do. And if you love writing, we want to make sure that you have your career in writing. The good news is, by having the first and second done, it will automatically feed your book sales. Client number one in this story, I'll have to figure out how to phrase that for the second, but when one is already receiving all that attention, it just brings their books to the forefront and it creates an audience for you to sell to. You actually train people to look for you and then sell to you. And I forgot the line I was supposed to say next, sorry. So there's a negative line here that I took out, and then that negative line, basically the reply is that it doesn't have to be that way. So I'll have to put that in or take that slide out. And change that to 5 keys to unlock the writer's social media mastery. And then it sits in the corner for the rest of it. So my story is I used to be like you. 20 some years in IT, and when social media came around, I went from, the background of coding into websites and then figured, you know what, social media can't be that hard. I'm an IT specialist. This is going to be really easy. And initially it was, because you connect with your friends, you connect with your colleagues, you connect with the people that you network with, but then that's your entire circle. And online, you have to get all the circles in all the cities of the world. You can't just connect with the people that you know and the people that they know that know you. You have to go over everyone. Again, this is for authors, not for businesses in town. So when I first created content, it was easier at first because I had everything up here and got it down, got it out, and there was some, but I hit a plateau. And I found that there were many people, not just in other authors, but businesses and whatnot. Everybody reaches this plateau when you've reached the people that you already know. It's everybody else that you have to get to now. And I was sitting there struggling like everyone else, and I honestly thought this was going to be a lot easier. So I started thinking, how can we reach out to more people? And I had a million ideas, millions of ideas. And I figured, you know what, next month, I'm going to get some of this together and it's going to go. But next month happened, and every time I got one idea, it led to another, it led to another. I had all this content, and I thought I might as well just get something out. And without planning, I just posted. And, there was a little attention, but it didn't go anywhere. Everything would plateau. So I had to think, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to create a proper system. Planning, creating, managing how it goes out, and very importantly, getting it out there no matter what. So once I developed that system, I started to see a change. That plateau went through the roof for me, and it's still climbing. you can have the exact same thing because this system works. Now, before I get there, I'm going to ask you to stick around to the end of the webinar because I will have a gift for everybody on this call, and it's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. I'll also be taking all questions and answers, so if you or questions at that time. So I want you to jot down if something comes to mind because we won't interrupt during the session, but at the end, I will take all questions at that time as well. So today we're going to learn the 7 keys to unlock social media mastery. What are they? Why you want to use those keys, and then where do you get each one of those keys? And at the end, I'm going to have an offer just for you. So what is a writer's social media mastery? It means sustaining, you know what? That's the wrong slide. And this is where the 2 pieces no longer work. So it goes into what is social media mastery, and then it goes into the why, and then it goes into a quote before we get into the last keys. Now, my last key, I chose fear because this is one of the reasons why people don't want to go public, because they fear that they're going to be attacked. And it can attacked online. So I wouldn't have put you here, and I actually are interested in your opinion about whether fear or you should be the last one here, because I did struggle with that.
Well, it could be your fear.
Your fear, yeah, your fear. What most people fear is that they're going to go online, they're going to make themselves vulnerable, they're going to put themselves out there, and they're going to get attacked. And you know what? There are trolls in the world, but did you notice, and I could put the slide here if you like, troll doesn't even make up 1% of the people that are out there. And there are always going to be trolls. You know what? There are ways of dealing with that. And now it's just a matter of putting yourself out there for the rest. Some of it will be negative, but those negatives can turn into positives if you know how to deal with them up front and you have plans in place to deal with that. You could be putting yourself out there and you're fearing your popularity that you could become, or maybe that you're going to pass your plateau and you just don't have a plan for anything beyond that. And that is where your plan can annihilate your fear and you can move on, get your following, get your influence, become a leader for your communities, and sell your books, products, and services. Just go into what we learned. And I don't have the rest of the one here, but
Do you wanna work on this one first?
yeah,
Can you go to the very beginning?
very beginning. And this is still recording?
Yeah, you wanna stop the recording if you can, right?
Nope, this is the best part. Sorry,
So
starting here?
yeah, we talked about this one, but
Yeah.
So I like this one, but what I think you should say is you should talk about your clients.
Here?
You can talk about a story of a client who approached you and or a friend did not believe this, and you were able to prove it.
Okay, so just in case, talk about a client who struggled with this and then proved
Yeah,
it?
and
Okay.
you can prove it. You can start here
Okay.
if you want to.
So seeding it right in the quote.
Yeah. Or give it examples. Give the example of people having, if we have a client of yours having 5,000 followers, but barely having like maybe less than 100 interaction.
Right.
What do you think?
I was intrigued on that page, actually. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, I know it's
How
cool.
do I interact with the other 90%? That's what I was thinking, right?
How do you turn, and I can break lurkers down into 5 categories, and the bottom 2, they're never going to interact. But there's ways of getting.
Actually, if you wanna break
the
it, it
3.
should come here, because this is not nuggets. This is our more problems.
These are not nuggets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is more like information. Nuggets would be like information.
So this could end up being
Like status.
3 of the keys.
Yeah.
Okay. So
As
what would
challenges.
you put in as a, well, we had it all positive, and then we talked about
I
what if
want
we
to
made
know
it negative.
how many sales will happen online.
depends on so many factors.
No, but there must be some statistics about number of books sold online last week.
Oh yeah,
It
that
can,
is.
It can be number of information like how many books Amazon will sell in a year,
Or in a day.
or in a day, or in an hour.
In a day, we had this many ebooks, this many books sold, and this many audio.
Yeah. So and now will be this can be one of the nuggets, and then will be the clients. One of your clients you were able to help and achieve that such much number. What other stories? What other nuggets you like to know about this? Because there is no relation between followers and book
How long is
sales.
it gonna take to implement? That'd be one of my questions. Right?
Is that a nugget or is that a challenge?
If you can make it as the average hour.
Because that's the whole point of this
Well, I think it would
of
be
this
a
sale.
nugget because for me, if I'm wanting to buy your product, how long is it gonna take me to learn it,
Ah.
implement it?
3 weeks until you're posting.
You can say it
Compelling
takes
material.
on the average 3 weeks to somebody to be live online with a follower.
It can take one post written correctly, tagging the right people, to
And-
suddenly change.
yeah, and this
your
can,
accounts.
and this can be one of the nuggets.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's much better because now I'm seeding what I'm actually selling here. Is
Mhm.
getting it done, getting it out.
Yeah, and if you have a nugget which people
What about imperfect action? I talk a lot about imperfect action.
What's the-
Get things to a point where you can put it out without it being perfect, and then tweak along the way.
you can.
Is that a nugget though? Because
It
that's
could be if you word it the right way and say, you know, the majority of people don't even put content on their social media because they're so worried about it not being perfect.
right. So that's a nugget, or
And-
it could be a nugget.
Another
Okay.
statistic.
Because
can-
that goes with fear also, sir.
Uh,
Goes with fear. Which
And it
is
goes with
also
fear.
very,
The nugget could be, so what I suggest is
Good
getting
point.
something out there and then we can tweak it after and I can teach you how to do that. So you're planting that.
And I can teach you how to do that.
the other question
Okay.
would be is how many books are sold more than 100 copy or 1,000 copy, or how many authors out there against how many books volumes.
Well, maybe that's the quote I said where the average author makes no more than $2,000 on a book,
It can be in the information.
and that includes the top. That includes the top.
I don't know what happened.
Oh,
Got too hot?
maybe.
No?
Or it just lost battery.
No.
Oh, you know what? I think it got
All
jostled.
blown
Nope. We can turn it around. Here.
Okay, so
Whoops.
hold on,
Just turn it around so everyone
So
can see.
yeah, so I think this is an example of the nuggets. If you talk about how many authors cannot sell, or how long will it take a book to sell a considerable volume, and how to accelerate that.
How to accelerate it.
Yeah.
Talk about acceleration. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the second time we talk about how to get it out, how long will it take, and then
And remember, this is the basic structure. Like if you have more nuggets or more pain points, you can have a second slide for the pain points.
So in some ways, your nuggets, you're actually seeding your offer.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the nuggets.
Okay, I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
I was overdoing it, but I'm not
No,
overdoing
no,
it
no,
if I
no,
do
no,
that
no.
because
As
that would
long-
be good because then I'm introducing the concept before I really get into
But
it.
the nuggets are important because nobody knows this information.
Right.
Like, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. One thing here I don't. So here is 7 key to unlock the mastery. Okay. I wouldn't put this as a. Yeah, you can put it. Up to you if you want to have this or not. I wouldn't put an offer just for you, because when you put an offer just for you, oh now she is selling me. Now she is selling. Now she is selling.
Oh, don't even mention the offer?
No, you don't mention the offer here.
Ooh.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, a lot do, but again,
You
do
could
they
even
sell?
Try that. You could try it.
And I'm not a big name. I'm if I'm a big name with an offer, that's good news.
But I don't know. It's just I like the learning is not the offer. The learning is the first what W's. So I would just say it at the end. After you summarize your learning, you say, do you like to know more, or do you like to be part of a program?
hmm
Everybody goes to webinars or wherever they know they are sold somehow.
Right. Especially these days.
Would you like to learn more?
Yeah,
That's it.
so-
Okay. There wasn't too much more after this, so that's the what, but it's the wrong. I
Actually, this is not a what. This is actually can be also in information nuggets.
That's information nuggets?
It can be. Or this can be the ways to sell. How
Oh.
how you can
So
produce
what are the
material.
social masteries? So then you can list them. Well, here's what they are.
Yeah.
For like the value points.
Well, that would be education rather than a nugget, and then
It can come after the nuggets right away. Like this, what the writer misses. The writer missing to sustain a
that's-
career as a writer.
But that's part of the things that you are offering, right? Like
No,
growing
the-
and engaging followers
Yeah.
that they will get.
yeah.
Develop as a leader. This is what you.
And not everybody wants to be a leader, but if you are leading a community, sometimes you don't realize that you're contributing so much that you are a leader. People, and this is where the lurkers come in. They might be what is it? They came for the somebody's Facebook group, but they're staying because there are certain members that post what they love. So they can actually stay for an individual who's just another type, and it's actually a pretty easy way to lead. But you have to do so many things.
But in the program you talk about it. You
Absolutely.
teach about it. And it's-
Yeah,
Okay. No, I think the rest is good.
and the rest is good.
But we need to work on. I would say the first challenge is you, not the fear.
You
The
would say
first challenge has to be you. It's not the fear, because who is taking the action now toward your offer? Is
Okay.
your fear or you?
so. Fear could be number 2, and then
Slow to action should be number 2.
Sorry?
Slow
to
take
action.
actions.
Slow should okay. So fear should be 3. Slow to action is number 2, and you
You.
is number 1 always. Okay.
I don't know. This is a school of thoughts which is I'm following. I'm not sure it might change tomorrow, but this is a school
Yeah.
of thoughts I'm following.
Yeah.
And I found it resonate better. And even when you look at the logic and you explain the logic, why is you?
hmm
If you don't want to say you can say the authors themselves, because some of them might not be authors. So you may want to see something about, if I'm not an author right now, how can I take advantage of that?
Yeah, even anybody who's interested in
Anybody
social media.
who's interested.
No, but if you are not an author and you plan to write a book for a legacy or for whatever it is, it's better to start now establishing yourself as a leader.
establish your fan base so when your book comes out, you
Yeah.
have people who know who you are.
And also
They
you can
already
talk to your
love what you
fan
say.
base to know what they need.
Yeah, and
Can
I know
turn the book.
multiple people who wrote books, nonfiction books, by just sending out questionnaires, and whatever they got the most back on, that's what they wrote about, and it sold.
So this is might
Crazy.
be another way to do it,
Because the thing is, on that last one piece, the truth is, fear is something that is behind you.
Yeah.
Basically, right? And what you are the only one that it's allowing that fear to stopping you from moving forward.
Right.
Pretty much. So
Yeah.
you can talk about it, but probably just bringing fear into
Mhm.
you are the one that it's stopping yourself from.
Yeah, and I don't even use fear. Is that slow to action can be fear, but you are the big piece.
Yeah.
And the rest of it I don't. It's in the other one.
Do you have any questions more?
I'm pretty comfortable with the slides from this point forward for with the sale, the close, the offer, the objections I have a lot of that. Any critique?
Any closing comments?
What about the story? It's too short, too long, not deep enough.
I saw it good.
I think it was good.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was good.
that was.
I'll have to listen and hear what I thought said today. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
My friends.
Your turn.
I have to make it quick.